Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, baby. So last night Nintendo actually just shadow dropped a patch on us. Patch 8.1.0. And with that patch, we got a lot of extra content. Not anything like, skyrocketing or anything like that, but we got something. We got a little something. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So, we got small battlefield. If it wasn't already enough, we got regular battlefield, we got big battlefield, and now small. So, the interesting thing about small battlefield is that it's a perfectly legal tournament stage. Like, not only that, but it also has the perk of allowing you to play any music from the game on the stage. And they also allowed you to do that on FD now. That was also included in the patch. So, round of applause for Nintendo for actually doing something very beneficial to the scene so we don't have to listen to the same tracks over and over and over and over again. But now let's actually talk about why this stage is legal. Well, first and foremost, the stage is pretty damn simple, right? There's no hazards on it to interfere with any gameplay or any competitive integrity. So, it's basically a smaller Pokemon Stadium 2. And I think that's attractive to a lot of people, right? Smaller blast zones means things kill earlier. And of course, the layout of the stage is smaller, meaning that it promotes a lot of in your face gameplay, so to speak. It's definitely a shot in the foot to zoners, somewhat. But most zoners in this game have boxing options anyway, so who gives a damn, right? But nah. So now the question is, do we get rid of Pokemon Stadium 2? Well, let's really consider why will we ever get rid of Pokemon Stadium 2, right? There's been a lot of complaints about the stage. I am under the impression that I don't really have an issue with Pokemon Stadium 2. The difference between Pokemon Stadium 2 and this small battlefield, in my opinion, is the fact that, small battlefield, you can actually traverse under the stage to the other side, whereas there's a pillar under Pokemon Stadium 2 that does not allow you to do that. And, yeah. Other than that and the layout, I think Pokemon Stadium 2's platforms are a bit higher off the ground than small battlefield. But yeah, other than that, one is smaller, the other one is larger. To me, those are my first glances, and from playing on them, I don't really care. So I can see the argument for getting rid of one and keeping the other, but ultimately, I think that these two stages aren't the main problem with Ultimate's rule set. I actually think the main issue is having so many triplat stages. Now, how many do we actually have? Well, we don't have Dreamland anymore. That's great. So, getting rid of Dreamland, I thought we were on the right track. Not having duplicate stages. Like Smash 4, we had Battlefield Dreamland. Now, no. We gotta have Yoshi's Island for some reason. Sorry, Yoshi's Story. Yoshi's Island is dead. Thank God. But Yoshi's Story. So, why? Okay? Battlefield and that stage have similar layouts. Of course, you can cling to the wall on Yoshi's Story, but at the end of the day, it's a triplat stage, right? And I only have 2 bands in bracket, so motherfucker, why? Tell me why I have to waste both of my bands if I don't want to play on a triplat stage. You know what I mean? So there's no getting rid of, alright, you know what? I'll get rid of Battlefield and FD. No. If you want Battlefield gone, buckle up and get ready to waste your band on Yoshi's Story 2 because you got 2 triplats. And guess what, man? If you were still trying to avoid 3 platforms, you got Lilac, which should have been out of competitive play a long ass time ago, but I don't get it. Right? To this day, I still don't have an answer. The community in general hates that stage. Majority of the community. Yet we still have it on. Despite the glitches, despite people falling through the stage, we still have Lilac legal. But hey, no matter how many times we bring it up, TLs aren't going to get rid of it. So who cares, right? But I think that those 2 are probably the main issues with the stage list, in my opinion. I think small battlefield, if it ends up replacing PS2, that's great. I don't think we should have a rule set where we have both PS2 and small battlefield. It makes absolutely no sense. Legitimately makes no sense. I think Kalos is a fine counter pick. I think Town and City even is a fine counter pick or starter, whichever you want to make it. But I feel like the community has this issue where we want stages just so our stage list is bigger. Not for like the practicality of it, not if it makes sense or not. If we can fit it in to make the stage list bigger, then we should do that. And I think that's a very backwards way of thinking when it comes to the competitive integrity of actually developing a stage list to keep the game very competitive. I understand that people don't want to see the same stages all the time, but you have to keep in mind this game isn't very competitive focused to begin with, so we shouldn't be trying to force things that genuinely don't make sense just for the sake of having it there. So I think that we need to change that 100%. I think that Small Battlefield is cool. I personally like the stage. I like PS2 more just for the aesthetic of it, but being able to play all those songs finally in bracket sounds pretty cool, right? I mean, like, song counterpicks will actually be a thing now on the Smash stages like Battlefield and Final Destination. I think that's dope, honestly. I think that's really dope. You should also expect to hear tons and tons and tons of Megalovania from now on those stages, by the way. I know I'm probably going to spam it, but I expect the Persona music to be a lot more spammed. So yeah, brace yourselves. So I'm all for that, to be honest. When I think about the other stages in the rule set, to spice things up, I actually think Smashville is a boring stage because of that long centered platform in the middle. Like, I find it pretty boring. Honestly, I thought Smashville was way cooler when it had hazards on. I still am not under the impression why we can't have a hazards on, hazards off rule set, you know? I think that Town and City and Smashville having their moving platforms is what made them very unique and made them very counter-picky, just made a word up by the way, to begin with, you know? So the stagnant platforms in the middle, I mean, you know, Town and City's platforms still kind of like move in and move out, but at the end of the day, like, I don't think having a rule set to like back out into with hazards on stages is too much of a hassle. We already take a year in the menu anyway. Like, I remember that was an argument. Yo, we don't want people to take a year in the menu trying to get to the hazards on rule set to switch over to counterpick a stage. It's like, bro, come on. Like, dudes take a year to make their tags and controls anyway. Like, really? Like, the extra 5 seconds to do that? Probably 3 seconds to be real. I just think overall, there's a lot we could do to make the rule set and stage list, so to speak, more accessible and more unique, but we limit ourselves, and I think we try to force things that don't really make sense just for the sake of having it, even if it works or not. So I'm a fan of Small Battlefield. I think it's a cool stage. I know there's a lot of talk about getting rid of Kalos. I don't know about that. I like Kalos personally, but if people really don't like it, all right. But I do think it has a unique enough layout, and I do just overall think it's a beautiful stage, and I do think it's a competitive stage with hazards off. So I don't really see the issue with that stage, you know. But my main issue is the triplat thing. I think that is dumb, and I think that we've had that issue for way too long, and not enough people talk about it. And I want to know if people are like-minded at all, or if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. And if you're a fan of Small Battlefield or PS2, let me know which one that you would keep over the other. I'm very curious to see what people want, what they like, what they dislike. So thank you guys for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Be sure to hit the bell button to know when I drop a video. Be sure to subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and of course, go ahead and follow me on my social media and catch me live on Twitch, streaming Smash and a bunch of other games. It's been real. Take it easy. Peace out. Deuces.